Okay, great. Call to order the Lynchburg Planning Commission meeting for Wednesday, May 12th, 2021. And we do have a visitor online, right? Cham will be online? Okay, great. All right, the first order of business is the approval of our April 28th, 2021 minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look them over? Were there any corrections, anything needed to be done?
Nope.
A motion to approve?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, hearing none, move to the next order of business, which is the petition of Victoria's Inventory LLC for a conditional use permit in a B1 limited business district to allow a pool associated with the existing nearby apartments to be constructed at 200 Bridge Street. So Rachel, if you can
Thank
tell
you,
us about
Mr.
this.
Chair and members of Planning Commission. The city's future land use map recommends a traditional residential use for the area. These areas are generally characterized by being our older neighborhoods, usually built pre-World War II and prior to the city's first zoning ordinance was established. The property is zoned B1, which is our limited business district, which allows residential uses by conditional use permit only. So because the pool is considered accessory use to that residential use, that's why the item is before you today. The proposed pool should have minimal impact on the surrounding area. The parcel has seemingly never been improved according to aerial photos dating back to 1940 or so. And approval of the CUP would allow the construction of an amenity that nearby rental residents could use. Initially, staff was hesitant about this petition just due to concerns over maybe the pool being possibly used by a larger population, particularly with the idea that it might attract people to the neighborhood via car, which the streets are very narrow and the parking is sufficient for the residents, but may be overwhelmed by outside visitors. So because of this, a condition was added that limits the use of the pool to residents of Victoria's Inventory LLC located on the 2 adjoining streets and certain properties along Rivermont Avenue. The city's technical review committee did review the petition, and comments were minor in nature and will be addressed before site plan approval. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And who's here to speak on behalf of the petition? If you please come forward, state your name and sign your name, and then tell us more about the project. Thank you.
I'm a frequent flyer, so unfortunately I'll still sign my name. But I'm Amy Sipe with AccuPoint Surveying and Design, and we represent Mr. West in his ventures down here. I think most everyone is familiar with Tony's projects, and his single-handed, at least on this street, complete turnaround of this neighborhood. If you drive down there today, you wouldn't recognize it. I've lived in the city for over 20 years and have seen it go from, drug homes that were on TV to now thriving residential uses such as apartments and duplexes. So if you have a chance, stop in the garage. It looks really nice, the old auto repair shop. But this pool is, as Rachel said, an accessory use to the apartment building that is currently, I think, nearing or at full capacity. 208 to 10 Bridge Street would likely be allowed to participate, and then the folks that are in the recently completed renovation of the former auto repair building. There is a large parking lot that he also has access to. All of this is well within walking area, but there are over 24 spaces within that parking area, as well as the parking lot that was created recently for the Virginian building. So these residents would only be walking because they would be using their designated spaces for their residents already. And if they had visitors, they would be relegated to whatever visitor spaces are combined for those units. There will be security cameras, there'll be locking gates, tenant-only access, whether through a key fob or a security pad of that nature. So he is planning to provide a restroom so that residents don't have to trek all the way back to their home, which will cut down on any type of traffic as far as foot traffic back and forth. He does have it tied into the little gazebo that he has for his other facility, and there'll be a large open slatted deck, because as you probably can tell, the property drops off quite significantly to the back, basically with a wooded view. So it will be a very nice, if you're familiar with any of his recently renovated properties, they look really nice, and this will be well done so that it's an added bonus for the residents. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Great, thank you. And you can probably just keep your place there.
Yep.
I don't see anybody here, but is there anybody online who wants to speak in favor of this? And no one online who's opposed, so we'll close the public hearing and we can address questions to you. Anybody have any questions?
Well, I do have a question, but I'd like to start by saying how excited I am to see something like this go in there. And one of the first things I did was look at the measurements of the pool, because once upon a time I was a lap swimmer. I used to swim competitively in the city, and like, as long as you can swim laps to the pool, good design, and you got just the right length to do that. But looking at the overall plan there, like, and the comments you had, where are the pumps and filters located?
They'll be actually in this, the deck will be substantially elevated.
Okay.
Just because the property, I mean, I don't know if that's the one that you can, it's hard to see on that so far away, but there's a significant drop, probably 20 feet drop. So this deck will be not uncommon for Lynchburg. My own deck at my home is 25 feet off the ground on posts. So this will not be something that, it'll be elevated, and they plan to have storage either in kind of a storage garage underneath the restroom or the concrete area, just a kind of like a closet where they can store pool chemicals and have them secured so that the maintenance people can access them, but they wouldn't be readily available for anyone to
Oh,
take.
that answered my second question
Yep.
about the pool chemicals as well.
Yep.
And I was just like, look, okay, where are you going to hide it? Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah, we just tuck them underneath where they're locked and secured, that only either a pool maintenance company or a maintenance personnel would have access to.
Okay. Well, again, I'm just really excited to see something like this. And
I think it'll be a great add-on to
I
the
do too,
facility.
and the residents of that area will have a wonderful place to do some exercise or relaxation.
I got to visit the site Monday, and I was curious about that, like that 20-foot gradient from one corner to the opposite corner. And, having seen, like, there's a pool at Oakwood where they actually have, part of the pool is well above ground. Is this just
Sure.
gonna be a cinder block foundation?
It'll
and
be
then-
similar to that. I'm not a pool expert, but it will definitely be structurally sound. Where he has a pool company that he is working with, and they're aware of the elevation changes. That's part of the reason we went with the open slat decking on that downside. For the most part, in the level areas, we've got a poured patio where people can have their lawn chairs and things like that. But when it starts to fall off quite significantly, there's going to be a deep end of the pool.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
That'd be really deep.
This will not be a 5-foot pool. There's going to be a deep end.
A diving well. It's gonna be nice, like what Tony's
Yeah, I
doing over
mean,
there.
it's especially living in, essentially this is still the downtown area. So I think it gives, there's other types of these developments throughout the city, but they're kind of out, and they have pools. But this is something that's downtown, which it's not as common to have access to a pool when you're in more of an urban setting. So I think it's a real amenity to the folks that are choosing to stay in this area.
Similar to that Ford Avenue, also, that property with the pool.
Yep.
It's nice. Thank you.
And Rachel, just to clarify, you said this would be open to residents. It's actually residents and guests, right?
Residents and guests.
Yeah,
I
so-
think we should lock it down that much.
Right, no,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm familiar with a similar situation, and actually the guests pretty much overran the pool, and they had to limit it to 2 guests per resident, but that was internal self-policing. The residents were not happy with that. So that's just something to be aware of, that
Yeah.
down the road, you may
Yeah,
all decide to.
he's got, I mean, he does have a great pulse on his communities. And if you drive by any of them, that he is, I mean, he's out there working with them. So he knows what's going on in
Sure.
his communities. So I think it will be well policed.
Yeah.
So,
And again, the residents wanted to fix that.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely,
so,
absolutely.
And it was legit, there's just too many people.
well,
were
because
being-
somebody gives out their code or
Yeah.
their key fob or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it turns into, oh, well, 8 people know the code now or whatever.
No, but it's obviously, I mean, nothing else is gonna happen at this spot, and you guys found the one place to put the pool and keep the stormwater retention pond. I think it's a good use.
I agree. I did have one question. There's that concrete, like decking over, where they put their chairs, and there's like a massive crack
Oh, in the,
in that concrete pad
in
that
the
you
little
poured.
patio with the grills and stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, they're
like-
gonna have to fix that.
I know, it's
That
just-
was just not, that was not done under the purview of an engineer like it should be.
Right, just wasn't thought through, but I'm sure this will be done differently, so.
It looks
I got
like
eyes
they're-
on this one, just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
It looks like they're working on that. They had it all
Oh, they
blocked
did?
up and.
Okay, good. Yeah, 'cause I
Looks like
saw
they're
it
doing something on that
couple
slab.
weeks.
Yeah, I
ago.
went out there not too long after they did it, and I went,
Yeah, I was like, that looks like it's gonna slide right off.
Oh, yeah, those grills could topple over any moment, looks
Yep,
like,
yep.
into the ravine.
And speaking about being on the hill there, where will the water drain?
So the pumps itself, so we have and we're working these details out with the pool manufacturer, but, the portions of the patio that are concrete will go back into the pool or in a pool drain that's collected, so it won't run off. The slats will continue to just go to grass, because there'll be grass around, just like again, this deck is like 20 feet in the air at least, so that will continue to get sunlight and all that. So the pool itself will drain back into the sewer system.
Okay.
So
That's what-
they will have a pump system that, recirculates and all that like a normal pool. Then any excess cannot be discharged to the storm system. It will have to go back into the sanitary.
Okay.
So
Good,
it'll just help disinfect more down in the treatment plant.
well, the next thing down is Blackwater Creek.
Right.
Any other comments? Chan? You want to weigh in?
Cham, are you still on the call? Do you have any comments?
Yeah, I'm still on the call. I don't have any comments.
Okay, great.
Make a motion to accept the proposal as written.
Second?
Okay, any other comments before we put it to a vote? All right, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It carries unanimously. And,
James Buck with an eye.
oh, I'm
Great.
sorry. I always miss the online.
Thanks, Cham.
And look forward to seeing that go through council, and then
I'm sure
I'll
it'll go.
observe. I won't go swim. Right. I'm not the president.
You could be a guest.
I'll observe.
We can get you an inaugural first
Right.
lap around.
Have a talk to Tony about it.
Honorary guest.
Right? I can-
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any other business? Anything new? I feel like Tom had something he wanted to say to us. He came in.
Tom and I talked before the meeting. I know that you guys had asked about the Parks Master Plan at the last meeting. And we're working on setting something up for Parks to come and talk to us about it.
Cool, great, thanks. All right, well.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
A second. All right, well then we are adjourned.